So we are now going to be installing the flywheel itself. So I'm gonna set this under here. And I'm gonna grab all of the fasteners and everything over here. I already have the torque spec'd up, so that's 60 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. So I'll have to torque them, add a paint mark, and then go ahead and turn them the extra 90 degrees. And then, yeah, I think we'll be good to go ahead and install pressure plate and clutch and then move on from there. So I'm gonna set you guys up for time lapse as we install the flywheel. All right, so as you guys can see, we did get the flywheel in. So those flywheel bolts are 60 Newton meters to torque, also plus 90 degrees. So if I can get you guys a little bit closer, I can show you. See, I did go ahead and mark those and get those that extra 90 degrees as well. So we're all good to go there. So now what we can do is go ahead and assemble our pressure plate and clutch. Get all that ready to go back inside on top of the flywheel. And then from there, I think we'd be pretty much ready to go ahead and do the transmission install. Okay, so as you guys can see, I do have this holding with one hand, which is definitely a pain. But I do have the clutch alignment tool in there. The clutch sitting on the pressure plate. Hopefully you can see this side as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go stuff this inside. I will go ahead and set you guys up so we can see that getting on to the flywheel. And then we'll kind of go from there. Okay, so we're just gonna have the pressure plate and clutch kind of sitting in place right now. I just went ahead and got our new flywheel bolts out of the bag, as you guys can see right here. Sorry, camera quality is not the best back here. But I did also go ahead and pick up some thread locker as well. Now, the flywheel bolts already had thread locker on them, so I wasn't too worried about those. I am gonna add a little dab of thread locker to each one of these pressure plate bolts. Go ahead and bolt that up, torque those to spec, and then we can move on to the next thing. All right, you guys, so got the pressure plate in, got all the Allen bolts in, I got those torqued. Those are 22 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. So I got all of them except for this top one up here. It's beginning to strip out, so I'm actually just gonna kind of leave that one alone for now. I might come back to it here in a bit. I'm actually gonna go eat dinner real quick, and then we should be back out here and we can start working on the next best thing. All right, so now that I did go ahead and get the pressure plate in, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the new mounts on to the brackets, and then we can go ahead and do trans. I may or may not do that alone, as it is just me here right now, so I may not attempt that tonight. I may just wait until I can get somebody else here. I may see if I can get Eric or somebody else over here that could help me, and then just kind of go from there. Because yeah, it's definitely not going to be the easiest thing to get this transmission back up and in. Plus, while we're doing that, we're also going to have to get the slave back in and mounted, as well as the linkages. So we're going to have to get all of that back in, and then worry about axles, trans mounts, everything like that. And then we should be pretty much good to go after that. But like I said, I will not be able to do that alone, that's for sure. So I'm definitely gonna have to wait, but I will update you guys here in just a little bit. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get these mounts onto the brackets. All right, so now that it is beginning to rain, it's a little bit cooler now. Go ahead and slice open this first mount here. So as you can see, this is new and old. I'm not exactly sure if this one is completely blown out yet. It seems like it's probably all right, but yeah, you guys can see right there, it's kind of cracked. Hopefully you can kind of see that in there. But this one is obviously brand new. So we're gonna go ahead and slap this on here. Okay, so you guys would actually never believe how tight this 8mm Allen was inside of the track piece of that trans mount. I had to use my impact, also some really big pliers over there to hold it in place and get it out, but I did. So now we can also go ahead and take our other new transmission mount, which I think is over there, and go ahead and install that, and then we are good to go on trans mounts. And just like that, we have second trans mount mounted to the bracket, so we are all good to go there. So now it is literally just a matter of getting the trans back up and in, and we should be all good to go. So I'm gonna reach out to Eric right now and see if he has any time to come over and help me get this back in, and if so, then I guess you guys will see that. We'll go ahead and slap the transmission back in and start getting it mounted back in, and then getting the mounts and everything hooked back up, and we should be all good to go. What's up, guys? So this is, I guess, a cutscene from the last thing that you saw, which was we were waiting on seeing if Eric could come over and help me get the transmission in. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to that night, and I just kind of got fed up with it. I tried multiple times, just a little sketchy, especially not having a transmission jack and just using regular jacks. So I ended up waiting, just kind of stopped for that night, and then a couple days later, he came back over, and I believe that was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday, actually. So today is the 1st of July. Yeah, so yesterday was the 30th. He came over, he helped me get it in. Neither of us really had time to work on it, but it was the only time that he had to stop by to help me get the transmission in. So we got it kind of up and in there, and then we kind of bolted it in place just to kind of hold it there for, until I can get up there and finish tightening it. Now, today is the 1st, like I said. Unfortunately, I didn't record. I just kind of wanted to get some of this done. It's been probably like 2 weeks now that it's been in the garage up on the air. So I really want to get this fully completed, and recording takes a lot of time to, it takes a lot of time away from me being able to work on it, just getting stuff done. So here is a quick update. So if we take a peek under here, pardon me, you can see transmission is in. We have most of the bolts on the drive shaft put in. We have the, let's see, we have the passenger side axle just sitting in place. They're not torqued or anything, but they are screwed in, so we're all good there. Transmission bolts, we have all of the bottom transmission bolts in, up around the sides. The starter bolts are in. The starter is in the transmission, obviously, itself. There is still 3 bolts on top. One is completely out. That is the top dead center bolt. That one I still have to put in, but the other 2 next to that, they both need just tightened down a little bit more. So I'm thinking of doing that once the car is off of the stands. It just sits really high up in the air right now for me to get on top of it and try to work on top of the motor. So I'm just kind of waiting for that. Slave cylinder is not in yet. I'm going to be doing that again once the car is off the jack stands. Now I may have to crack the bleeder in order to get it to compress enough to go into its spot, but we'll figure that out, and if so, I'll just have to bleed the clutch system. No biggie. Airbox still obviously has to go in. That'll be probably the last thing. The cat, as you can see, is in. I kind of jumped the gun on that one because there's still one more bolt close to it that I still need to try to get to tighten. But Cat is in, exhaust is not in yet. I still have to do that. And then what else has been done? Transmission mounts. They have obviously you guys saw that, they have the new mounts on them, but when trying to get them to line up inside where they bolt to the transmission, the driver's side mount, there's 2 bolts on the top still missing, couldn't get those to go in. I might, again, try to do that on the top side here. And then the passenger side here, I couldn't get it to start on the subframe. So it went completely into the transmission, all the bolts lined up. But I do think that the subframe side of the mount itself is a little bit crooked, so it's not lining up the holes correctly. So I kind of need to get in there and readjust that. I think best method there, if you can see in here, you can see this is the heat shield on top of the mount itself right there. If it'll focus. So you can see the gray part down there is actually the mount itself. So I just need to remove these 3 heat shield bolts, and then I should be able to get to the bolt on top of the mount. Go ahead and loosen it and just kind of readjust it, but you can see it is bolted into the transmission. It's not torqued down yet or not tightened or anything like that. It's just loosely in there, but it is in, so we're good there. Linkages are all hooked up. We're all good to go there. None of them got bent. All of the gears shift properly. So if we take a peek in here, you can see it does shift through all of its gears. It's a little wonky because I'm not in the car, but you guys can see it does shift. It actually shifts a little bit better than Angel's did when we got his transmission back in. The main reason for that was this time when we dropped the transmission, I made sure to pay attention to the linkages, make sure they didn't get caught in between the transmission tunnel and the transmission itself when we were dropping it out. Because that's what happened on Angel's car. We actually ended up bending, I think, a little bit of the rod itself, which causes it to be a little bit difficult to get in all of the top gears, so 1, 3, and 5. But mine works, obviously works good, so we're all good to go there. And then once all of that is back together, I believe that we're pretty much done with it. You guys saw the clutch and pressure plate and flywheel, all that stuff being installed. I'm just trying to catch up on where I left off last. So things to still do. We have to bolt in driver's side axle, pretty much torque everything down. I've pretty much just been putting it back together loosely other than the transmission bolts, just so that way we can make sure that it's all in place, lining up correctly, everything's working right. Before we go ahead and tighten everything down, I feel like if we tighten everything, then we're not gonna know if everything lines up. I mean, certain things, you know, here and there, but I wanna make sure of that. So driver's side axle, we still need to kind of adjust the transmission mounts. Drive shaft, there's still 1 more bolt on top that we still have to tighten. Heat shield by the linkages, you can see that's under there. Eric took that out. That has to go back in as well. And then pretty much exhaust after that. And that should be pretty much it for underneath. On top, slave, top transmission bolts, and what was the other thing? Oh, harness or connectors are already hooked up, so we're good there. I kind of unraveled them from the top up here. I got those routed and plugged in, so we're all good there. So that's pretty much it. And then the job is complete, and then it's time for first start and first drive. Now we're probably not gonna finish this tonight. Like I said, it is the 1st of July. I do have work tomorrow, and it is already 7:13. We've been working on it a little bit earlier, and then I had to go run some errands, so I'm back now. I am alone, but I do think I'm gonna go change and then start working on it a little bit more, kind of tinkering with some things, seeing if I can get everything on the bottom pretty much buttoned up, so that way I can get it down off of the jack stands, and then kind of work on the top, and then just leave it there. So up top, put everything back together, obviously, as I said, like once these are off the, once it's off the jack stands. Now I am going to be leaving, I will obviously put the battery back in so that way we can test, but I will be leaving the cowl pieces off for now, because the wiper motor actually gave up the ghost, either that or the wiper arm linkages themselves. So I still have to rip that side apart, and I may have to remove or kind of tinker with the ECU box to get to that. So I'm just gonna kind of leave all of this exposed for now, so that way I have easy access to work on it. But yeah, without further ado, let me go change, and yeah, I will update you guys here in a bit. I probably won't record anything, not right now at least, because it's pretty much just tightening a bunch of bolts. Everything that you guys already saw and us putting everything back together is, it's really just reverse order of how we took it out. So yeah, pretty much good to go there. There's not really a specific order other than obviously getting transmission in first and just making sure everything clears that. And then just kind of getting everything back together as you go. But there is a lot of things to remember and just make sure that you get tightened. You definitely don't want things loosening as you're driving the car, obviously, after a transmission install. So yeah, I will update you guys here in just a little bit. All right, y'all, this is it. This is gonna be first start. We're just filling up coolant now. We have to start it so we can kind of like burp some of the coolant in there until I can do a coolant flush. Should I open the garage a little bit?
Yeah.
Neutral, clutch in. Holy
Yeah! Oh! Slight misfire.
yeah.
Good enough. Se queima, cut.
Se quema. Dude, that thing is tight.
The clutch?
Like it's a lot different than the other one.
Go down. And then bust the UE. All right, go ahead.
Different angle. Oh, it moves. Get in here. I'm getting in. So. Oh yeah. And it feels. It's so like. I don't know how to explain it. Oh yeah. She's tight. Like she's.
Well, we're gonna have to break her in a little bit.
There's gonna be a lot of braking miles.
How many miles is that?
I want to say like it's like 1,000.
Yeah, that's something ridiculous. Like my clutch isn't even broken in yet.
No.
It's almost there, but I definitely haven't driven 1,000 miles.
It's so different than the other one.
There goes the Avant. You can't really see.
Those brakes sound like poo. Wow, dude.
Nice. Did you fart?
Yeah.
The thing is, you gotta baby it too until it's broken in.
Yo.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
There goes that bumper.
Got those springs.
Oh.
Yeah, right in the bumper. Doom. Okay.
I like it. I love it, actually. It feels great. And I'm not the one driving
Yeah,
it.
it feels good.
So, how do you feel, man?
Accomplished.
Yeah, that's the
worst
first.
because when we did yours, we couldn't do this. Remember?
Yeah.
We didn't just get out and drive it.
Well, it was the starter.
True.
But that was the only thing. Everything else we got
Yeah,
right,
that's true,
technically.
I think we should check coolant and then.
Yep.
Wow, I'm amazed.
Let me
There you
turn
go.
you on. We're good.
Alrighty then.
Now we do the actual handshake. Yes, sir. It's crooked. It's not crooked. It's DiGiorno. Dude, I thought.
You know how much I don't care.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say. You know how much.
All right, you guys. So this is cutting from the last cut that you guys saw, which was us finishing up at night, going for a little test drive, and then kind of me flipping out about why or how we got the car running. But anyways, it was a complete success. Everything went as it should. It is now, we're into July, and the car's all finished up. I've been driving it for a couple days. I've been driving it back and forth to work. It's running great. It's shifting as it should. It's driving as it should. In fact, it feels even a little bit better with that lightweight flywheel in there. It's a little bit easier to grab and start going. So like I said, it's driving great. Everything's going good. So you guys saw the rest of the video, part of the install, and then the rest of it I just kind of finished up on my own. Like I said, that was all just installation, the reverse way of how we took it out. So, you know, just kind of put the trans back in, bolted it back up, kind of got everything hooked up in terms of connectors, linkages, the slave cylinder, everything else up on top, and then bleeding the cooling system. So everything has been working good, and cooling system's working good. So we've been all good to go there. It's been very hot out, and everything's been working as it should. The only thing is still boost is a little bit laggy, but we'll be buying the turbo eventually. I do have a very cool surprise coming in the probably the next video. I know that we still have to do the A7 video and just kind of show that car and just kind of, you know, get you guys interested in it, maybe if you guys are interested. But like I said, I do have a very cool surprise in one of the next videos, which does include another very old Audi. So stay tuned for that. And I just kind of wanted to finish this video off saying thank you guys for watching. I do hope that you guys enjoyed. I know it was a very quick series. And overall, the transmission removing and installing was a very quick process in terms of recording. But it was fun while it lasted, so we're all good to go there. Eventually, we will be doing it on the S8 sitting over there. And like I said, you guys will see in the next video or two the new Audi that is going to be entering the channel. So with that, I would like to thank you guys for watching once again. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you guys haven't subscribed already. And I'll see you guys very soon in the next video. Peace out.